So we are going to pick green beans right now. I'm keeping an eye on the clouds, but it's nice that I got a little cloud cover now. So I'm going to pick through as much as I possibly can. And I got my handy dandy bucket to sit on. I'll just put my AirPods in and just go for it. That's a pretty good size right there. Perfect. I know, I'm definitely a procrastinator, so some of these might be big. Ooh, these are perfect size. But some in here I know are pretty big. So I'll just sit here, listen to music till the sun comes back out, and then I can't tolerate it anymore. But I have been putting this off because we did the chickens and I needed a break. Just relax a little bit and get some stuff done. But these are really good. I do plant my green beans close together just because it still holds true. The more you pick, the more they flower, the more they keep going, and then they'll die off. I know these are bush beans, so yes, they grow up in a bush, not on a vine. And a lot of people say it's like one and done, but still, they come on full force in the beginning, and then yeah, they kind of peter out a little bit, but the more you pick, they'll still keep flowering. See, like that's pretty big, but I'll still use it. I'm not going to waste it. There are some weeds in between here that it seems like the pests are after these weeds. So I'm like half tempted to leave these intermittent weeds because they don't really seem to be bothering the green bean plants too much. I don't know. Every year is going to be different. That's 100% for sure. Every year is going to be different. Every plant is going to do differently every year. So you could say, oh, what am I doing wrong? It's like, you're not necessarily doing something wrong. It's just the climate you're in, how Mother Nature is going to give you weather that particular year. It could be cooler, it could be hotter, it could be rainier, it could be drier. Every year is different, so you kind of just have to go with it. You can't plan for it, you can't predict it. You just have to go with it. So the beans are doing good. Hopefully the peppers do well. I need some peppers. I want to make, I don't know if I have enough freezer room. I'm trying to convince my husband that we should just buy a second freezer. Ha ha ha. He'll love me for that one. But I think we need a second freezer. So we got the chickens. We have another cow coming in September, I think he said. So I just want to have enough room for everything. But oh, what was I saying? It's like the peppers. Peppers come on all at once, and then I want to make like stuffed peppers or something, and I want to freeze them, but I don't have any room in the freezer to freeze too many. These are good green beans. Very good green beans. So, while I'm picking here, let me know in the comments how you're doing in your area, where you live, how the weather is, how your garden's growing. My garden definitely could be better, but I guess we all could do something better. So, I'm just going to sit on my bucket and pick green beans till my arms are too scratchy or the sun comes out and decides to bake me. And I'm also probably picking these at the wrong time of day, but I do it when I have time. That's about that. Do something when you have time to do it. So I'm going to carry on. So I did almost half of them, or half of the row, and this is what I got, about a half of a 3-gallon bucket. I like the little 3-gallon buckets, but the sun came out and it was starting to beat on me, and of course, now it's raining. I don't know, weird. I'll keep going in a little while. So I'm keeping up on the green beans. We actually had a couple visitors, unwanted visitors, that we had to, well, take care of the fence. So that way the little rabbits can't get in because they started eating my green bean plants. I don't like that very much. But they started eating the tops, so we definitely had to get on the case, and we got the fence fixed, and there was one little spot when we put in new posts here. We never really hooked up the little fence to the new post, and we just didn't get around to it. But nothing actually came in here, but now it did. So we put a board underneath because they were digging underneath the gate and getting in through a little tiny hole right here. So my husband fixed that, and I've just been coming out here and picking the green beans. It's a nice, lovely day, so I got to get some more weeding done. But just to show you some of the plants that are, well, that really, I'm behind. It was a busy week at work, so now I'm trying to play catch up this weekend. But my pepper plants are quite lush, but, well, okay, so I'm starting to get some flowers. Just a little behind, very behind. I don't know if you can see that in there. Little flower. I can't wait to get some peppers because they taste so good when they come out of your own garden. These are my jalapenos. Like, some of these are getting eaten. This one especially. I don't know what's eating it. But the rest of them look decent. I'll take it. But the plants are getting really, really big. I do have to come through here and fertilize things. I'll get to that maybe at some point. So I'm taking the green beans and I'm putting them in like a gallon-sized bag, filling them up, and I'll continue to fill them up until I get enough where I can just do a whole bunch of canning, and then I'll can a bunch at once, and then I'll just keep doing that over and over again. So the carrots are looking good, getting quite big. The weeds are kind of staying at bay. I just need to come through and pick a little bit. Like I said, once you start weeding some of this stuff, the plant will take over and suppress some of the weeds. But I definitely have my answer on these tomatoes. They are definitely cherry tomatoes. Oh, this one's ripe. Let's try it. Well, I gotta take the top off here. Let's see. That's very good. Like I said, I ended up with 1,000 cherry tomato plants. My fault. It's all my fault. I'll deal with that. My other carrots, I kind of been neglecting them a little bit. Oopsie. But I'll get watering them. I'm just getting in here trying to maintain stuff. I think maintaining, it seems to be like the hardest thing to do. Because you're like, oh, I'll do it later. And then, oops, I didn't do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. Oops, and then it just goes on and on. But you get what you put into it. Oh, I want to show you something else too. I forgot to show you on my garden tour that I went through and weeded all my onions. I gotta say, onions don't like weeds because they don't grow well in the weedy area. Again, you can see the difference. There's a whole bunch of onions here and not a lot of onions here. So the difference between these two spots are this has no mulch in it and this has mulch, and I just use leaf mulch. So this is all just composting leaves, and I call it leaf mulch. I have them in a pile in the corner of my yard, and I usually top dress everything after I plant, and I didn't do that in this other section here. So definitely goes to show that mulching is a big help. And see, now we've got these onions on the top. I'm going to keep some of the soil away from the bulb so that it can grow out. And that was helpful when I was weeding because I kind of pulled some stuff away. See, tiny little bulb. And that'll grow outward. Because if the soil's too compact, then they won't grow a big bulb either. So I'll just pull this away, and then that bulb will grow outward. So I'll just try to remember to keep an eye on it and get the soil away. I did this one year, and it actually worked out really well. So I'm like, oops, I think this is how I'm supposed to do this. There. So we have whites, reds. I didn't plant very many of those because the whites don't store very well. I found that out. So I will just plant enough that I will use as they're fresh. The red ones I don't use as much as the yellows either. So I try to grow more yellow onions than anything. And I kind of had an idea because I predominantly put my garlic in here. I may, being the key word, I may put the onions and the garlic in one of the raised beds inside. I might give it a try this year. We'll see. But all this stuff here is where I have chamomile. It kind of reseeds itself, but if I stand back, it started here next to my bunching onions and or my chives, and then it seeded itself to the next spot, to the next spot. So as the wind is blowing, it's blowing the seeds a little farther down. So I don't know what I want to do about that. But this is just, the garlic was here, and then the chamomile was here, and then this was empty, and now it's just weedy. And I can see this section from my house. So my long story short, I may just take this stuff out and maybe plant some perennials there, just so that when I'm looking out of my window, I have something pretty to look at. And maybe it'll motivate me to weed a little bit more, because as you can see, it's a weedy mess. But I do like to keep my herbs like here because they're close. Everything's so far behind. Oh well, it is what it is. So I'm just plugging along today and getting some stuff done. It's not super hot. The breeze is cool. That's what happens in upstate New York. We get about a week or two of really, really warm nights, and then we're back to 50s and 60s in the night. It's nice and cool, and the breeze is cool. That's what August is for me. Really warm temperatures, but the breeze is nice and cool. So we'll just plug along and keep going and see what we can get. And as always, from my coop to yours, thank you for growing with me so I can grow with you.